And the Catholic Church is celebrating the life of the first millennial saint this weekend. Carlo Acutis, a young computer whiz from Milan, passed away at the young age of 15, but not before leaving an extraordinary impact on the world.
And now Pope Leo is officially recognizing Blessed Carlo Acutis and the miracles attributed to his intercession. Rome correspondent Alex Salvi is live at the Vatican with more on how the legacy of Carlo is leaving a mark on millions of the faithful all over the world. Alex?
Yeah, Bob, Lydia, it's good to be with you. The church here is reaching out to younger Catholics around the world in particular, using the story of this one boy who this weekend will be canonized, as you said, as the first millennial saint, with his tomb in central Italy becoming a must-see sight for Catholics who are looking to take the next step in their faith.
The small medieval hilltop town of Assisi, the home to some of the most well-known figures in Catholicism, and now the first saint of the millennial generation. The tomb of Carlo Acutis draws a steady stream of faithful from around the world, coming to pay their respects to the 15-year-old boy who passed away from leukemia in 2006.
Carlo gives us peace. Most importantly, he gives us certainty that God is a good father.
He's buried there at his own request, due to his admiration for St. Francis of Assisi, who Carlo was drawn to for his dedication to the poor. Carlo's tomb rests at the very site where St. Francis 800 years ago renounced his family's wealth and devoted his life to helping others. Much like Francis, Carlo opted to spend his time helping others rather than going on vacations, foregoing sneakers and toys, and instead asking his parents to donate to the poor, while also finding time to be a regular kid and hang out with his friends.
His story says he was a boy, only 2 or 3 years older than me, who spoke with everyone, didn't judge people, and helped everyone.
Each day, thousands of worshipers pass by, Carlo's body embalmed in plain sight, wearing jeans, a sweatshirt, and sneakers. Nearly 30 million people are expected to make the pilgrimage to Rome for the Jubilee this year, many paying their respects to Carlo and Assisi. His smiling face, often in a polo and wearing a backpack, a common image across the town, as recognizable as Francis in his simple brown garbs, and one that touches the heart of all who see it.
And I have a grandson of 10 years old that all time talks about Carlo Acutis, because at school they talk about him. They put this boy as example. It's something very, very good and very nice.
Deemed the patron saint of the internet, Carlo used his technical skills to create a website that recorded miracles. But now it's his miracles connecting him to sainthood and the next generation of Catholics.
Carlo prophetically realized that today the public squares are online, on the web. That's where youth are. That's where people are. So he lives and brings the gospel to those squares.
Carlo's story transcends borders, age, and time, and his tomb in Assisi serves as an inspiration for all those who follow in his footsteps.
Hundreds of thousands of people made the trip to Italy back in the spring for the canonization of Carlo that was ultimately postponed due to the passing of Pope Francis that very same week. But Lydia and Bob, the Vatican says that despite rescheduling the event, the crowds this weekend are expected to be just as large, if not larger, than they were before.
Alex Salvi in Rome. Good to see you. Thank you.
Joining us now, the CEO of Catholics for Catholics, John Yap, along with Vice President and Editorial Director at EWTN News, Matthew Bunson. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Matthew, let's start off with you. Explain why this is such a huge deal, because there has been numerous saints that have been canonized before. I mean, it wasn't too long ago that Pope Francis canonized, how many people? It was 11, I believe, in St. Peter, at the Vatican, St. Peter's Square. Why is Carlo such a big deal?
Well, you're right. There are about 10,000 recognized saints in the church on what they call the Roman calendar. This is unique, though, because as we were just hearing, he is the first millennial saint. He is a young boy who died at such a young age in 2006, around the age of 15. And from that standpoint, then, he is an important role model for young people, not just in holiness, but also in curiosity about the faith. He is, I think, a real bridge between the church and young people, between the church and the millennial generation, and also the Gen Zs. So he's a transcendent figure in so many ways, but he's also he's very appealing simply because he was such a regular kid. And he's a demonstration that the holiness is for everyone, and holiness is not specific to any particular time. The holiness is for us, too.
John, I think that his story is pretty incredible too. Building this website online, recording miracles. Can you explain a little bit about in more detail about what he did?
In a certain sense, it gives us a little bit of hope for everyone watching and trying to get to heaven, right? Like, why is the Catholic Church, this 2,000-year-old institution, putting all of its credibility behind it and saying, this man, Carlo Acutis, 15-year-old boy, is now in heaven? So what did he do? You mentioned the website. He, it was right when dawn of the internet, essentially, and one of the first projects he did after doing a website for his local parish was to document the roughly 100 or so miracles pertaining to the Holy Eucharist. Catholics, we believe that that's really the body, blood, soul, and divinity of Jesus Christ. But there are some times in history where even the physical appearances, it still looks like bread, still tastes like wine, but even the physical appearances turn it into actual human flesh and human blood. That man, Carlo, he documented it on a website. That website is literally viral, right? And that's kind of what is summary of his life. He lived and died preaching and talking about his friend, Jesus, and that's the goal for everyone here on this earth.
Well said.
Amen.
Certainly is the goal.
All right.
John, Matthew, good to see you both. Thank you.